Welcome to the positive side. We are so excited about the airing of our first show. The intention behind this show is to empower and inspire you to see the positive that surrounds you in this amazing universe.
What we want to do is we want to show you that in everyday situations, there's two ways to look at things. You can look at things like they're a burden, like they're a problem, or the negative side. Or what I choose and what we choose and what we want to share with you is that in every situation, there's some good, there's some positive, and we can take from it, and as long as we take from it, we can learn from it. Every day we have experiences, and every experience we have, there are two ways we can look at it. We can see the challenges that are in it, the problems, the issues, and get boggled down with the negative, or we can see the positive side. We can see the lesson that we learned or the gift that was involved in there. And if we work it, making an intention and setting an intention to keep our thoughts positive, and it does take work, it makes it a little bit easier to see the positive in every situation.
Well, let me ask you the big question. The big question then is, why? Why does it seem so hard to stay positive every day? Why is it, I wake up in the morning and I'm excited and all of a sudden I stub my toe and the rest of the day goes,
It has a lot to do with our upbringing. It has a lot to do with the society that we live in. We've been taught since we're little children, from schools, from our peer groups, from our parents, from our church or our synagogue, that we can't always have what we want, and that life always has problems and challenges and issues, and that we get bogged down in that. And we start to believe that every day. I think, at least with me, one of the things that I try to do is try to set an intention to notice when negative thoughts creep into my mind and then replace them with positive, empowering thoughts.
It's true. I mean, when you look around and you look at the media or advertising, anything out there really hones in on the negative. So it's what floods our minds constantly for each moment. Gossip, the newspaper, all of those types of things. So what we're saying is there's two sides to the coin. There's up and down, there's light, there's dark,
Yin and yang.
and yin and yang. So the positive is what we want to help you to start fill your day with. And we want to share our experiences with you on a day-to-day basis of what we do to make that happen for ourselves. Because trust me, it's not easy, but it's possible.
It takes a lot of work. Even today, I'll give you an example. I got up this morning and I was excited because it's a big day. We have a lot going on and I couldn't wait to get in here this morning. I started my day with a bounce. I got dressed, I got everything ready, I got out to my car.
Thank you.
And I was flying here. And somebody cut me off on 41 and just was not very nice about it. And all of a sudden I realized my thoughts were spiraling down. I was getting upset at him. And I took notice of it because I set an intention. And I caught myself because it just snowballs. He cut me off. The guy next to me wouldn't let me in so I could get over. And then, I start thinking of these bad things and problems. Now I'm going to be late and all of this because we get caught up in the everyday, in the mundane. But if we take notice to stay in the moment, right now, and keep our thoughts positive, it will help us to have a happier outlook.
I agree, and one of the things that I try to do, because that happens here, we live in Sarasota, Florida, and this time of the year they call season, which means a lot of the people, the snowbirds, come into town, and the traffic gets a little more congested. And we're very grateful for you because it helps the economy, but it makes timing a little difficult sometimes. And what I've noticed for myself when those things happen, what I do now is actually take myself out of where I am and what I'm doing and put myself in that person's spot. And first off, recognize that them cutting me off has absolutely nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. They're not thinking about me. That's why they cut me off. They're not thinking about me. They're not wondering where I'm going to work or when I have to be there. They're in their own head, focusing on their own thing. So if I can put myself in that place and look at that, I kind of look at saying, just forgive them. Just please forgive them. And I also surround myself with what I call white light whenever I get into my car. I don't care where I'm going. And I'll be honest with you, I've recognized that it's very interesting. I surround myself as well as everybody else that's driving with white light. And the affirmation that I say is, please allow me and everybody else to get where they want to go safely, positively, to their home, to their family, to their job, wherever they're going. And when I pay attention to it, which is what we're talking about, paying attention to the moment, I recognize there's a width between me and the car in front of me, me and the car behind me, me on the car on the side of me, and it's almost as if there's a positive energy space around me that keeps me safe on my journey.
And when you do that, and you put yourself into the other driver's place, and you see that it has nothing to do with you. It comes back to Don Miguel Ruiz. Take nothing personally. It had nothing to do with you. It had to do with them, what they're going through, and they don't set an intention to dampen your day. And as long as we keep that thought in the forefront of our mind, that whatever issues they're having had nothing to do with us and had nothing to do with the intentions that we set for the day.
Well, why? And the other thing is, why do I want to give my power, so to speak, my energy away to somebody that I don't even know, that crossed me for what, a half a second? They crossed in front of you for a half a second?
And what you said is so true and so right and so hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
We came in today, and you saw I was excited and ready to go.
To see me. He was very excited to see me, my smiling face.
And you showed me something.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw my energy drain.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took that one little thing to suck out the positive that I had all morning, the high that I was on.
But was it that one little thing, or was it one more little thing? Because you had the guy cut you off, and then I shared something with Larry when he came in this morning that he went in one direction with. So it's you see how it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and when we're not aware of it, that's where we can start building what I call the negative wall.
And then you took me outside, we sat, and we talked. And I recognized that I was giving away my power, just as you said. I was giving somebody else the power of my happiness, of my peace, of my serenity. As we spoke about it, and we put it in perspective, and I realized that it was a blessing. It was a gift. And I saw it that way. My negative energy and being as low, where my vibrations went lower, after a minute of discussing it and changing the perspective and seeing the gift in it, my energy went right back up, and I was excited again and couldn't wait to get in here and start shooting our shows and everything else that we have going on today.
Yeah, it does. It seems so much easier to fall into that negative than the positive side, and that's been a key point for my journey of where I am right now, is actually becoming conscious and aware of that. And when I did, that was a change. That was, I'll call it a crossroad. I was at a crossroad in my life, and when I recognized that it was me, it was me. Who was choosing to go down the negative side or go down the positive side. And what I also recognize is negative and positive. People talk about it being energy and a vibration, and I believe that. I feel it, and I recognize that in my life. And what I've noticed is it's like jumper cables. You've got a positive and a negative, and when you try to put the two of those together, they bounce off of each other. And when I'm going through times in my life where things seem to be not where I want them to be or heavier than I want them to be, I recognize now that it's my thoughts. It's my thoughts that are fueling the energy in the moments around me. So now becoming more aware and putting the positive, look where I am. I mean, we're doing a TV show. This has been a long time dream of mine to be able to share this with people, and here we are. So with that said, one of the things that I also do when I'm in the car or anywhere, to be honest with you, is the affirmations, the positive affirmations. And one of the ways I do that is gratitude and speaking about it. Gifting, I'll give you an example. So yesterday we have a McDonald's here, which I do not frequent. However, my boyfriend does. So I stopped at McDonald's, and the guy behind me, I heard him order a soda. And so I thought I was doing a good deed, which I guess I was. And I said to the guy at the cashier window, I said, I want to buy that guy's drink. And he said, well, it's $6.75, which was more than what I got. And so I just said, that's fine. You know, and I told the guy at the window, I said, please just tell him to pay it forward. And, you know, when I got up to the next window and I got my meal, I felt good. And the guy behind me in the car who I bought the meal for, he was just like all in the background doing thumbs up and everything. So I don't know what space he might have been in at that moment, but I can tell you just that small little thing that I did put him in a positive space.
Sometimes these feelings are like a domino effect.
Yeah.
You know, with me this morning getting up, you know, and having an issue first thing in the morning and then getting cut off, and then it dominoes, and then one positive thing, somebody buying food in line in front of me. I wouldn't know because I don't go to fast food restaurants, but but all of a sudden his whole day
And I'm not
changed.
promoting McDonald's here.
His whole day changed, and now he's going to go into his office or wherever he works. He's going to be in a happy mood. He's
But I'll
gonna
tell
be
you
good.
what, it affected me too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know why I did it. I really don't. I just pulled up and there was no rhyme or reason to it. I wasn't thinking about I'm going to buy somebody something, but it just, in that moment, and I left and I drove out of there and I felt good.
I do that also sometimes at the bridges. If I don't have change, the exact change, I'll go here, this is for me in the car behind me. And all of a sudden, again, their whole perspective changes. They're now coming from a place of happiness, of kindness, of love.
So what we're telling you and what we're sharing with you is this is how easy it is and how hard it is. So some of the things that we do, I'll share a couple of mine and then you can share a couple of yours. Before my feet hit the ground in the morning, I do an appreciation rampage. I'm grateful for the bed that I'm sleeping in, for the roof over my head, for the food in my refrigerator, for the people that love me, for the cat that adopted me, for coming to the Amazing Universe TV broadcasting company each morning. This is how I start my day. So it gives me a positive high vibe.
And it's so important because these little rituals that we get into, and you and I don't discuss this really very often, but as you know, I do the same thing. I start my day with 2 talks to the universe, my angels who watch over me all the time, to God. And I always start coming from a place of gratitude for thanking the universe for all that I have and all the love that surrounds me and all the beauty that surrounds me and all the positiveness. And when you start doing something like that, in the beginning it's a little difficult. You start with, I'm thankful for my health and I'm thankful for this. And when you start really doing it in a routine, all of a sudden you realize I'm thankful for the trees that are in front of me. I'm thankful for the grass. I'm thankful for
And it's
allowing
actually,
me
you
to live
actually
in
start
Florida.
to recognize these things.
Absolutely.
I mean, how
appreciate.
many, I can't tell you how many rainbows I see here in Sarasota and feel so grateful because they're absolutely amazing here. And there's part of my mind that always goes to how many people aren't seeing this right now.
Yes. Yes, because they're focused on not the beauty, not the joy, not the happiness.
Yeah, it's like this, blinders, negative blinders that we put on ourselves.
And what we do, and I know what I do, and I'm pretty sure what you do too, is we train our minds. We train our minds to see the positive in every situation. We train our minds to be cognizant of negative thoughts when they creep into our heads, and they do.
Yeah, and it's not easy, but it's just what Larry said, which is being conscious of it. I mean, we live in an unconscious state for 90% of our day.
99.
How many of you remember putting your clothes on this morning? How many of you remember actually driving to work this morning? How many of you remember, putting your turn signal on? We go through our lives unconsciously, and what we're telling you is your brains are absolutely amazing. You control them. You are the one who's going to set the pace for it. So become conscious of everything. So one of the things you can do is just actually start becoming conscious of those little things that you do in the day.
And as is said so often, and it's true from our perspective, thoughts become things. When we focus on the positive and we focus on the positive thoughts, it extrapolates out into our whole life, into everything else that we're doing.
And that's what you start to attract. You'll start to find that your day is kinder and more loving and more gentle and more positive when you put yourself in a positive frame of mind.
Thoughts become things. When we concentrate on the positive and when we focus on the good and on the love and on the beauty that's out there and see these things and focus on them, we train our minds to always go to the positive side. And that's what we want to do. When we can keep our thoughts on positive things, it raises our vibrational frequency to a higher level, and we're happier. And all the people that we come in contact with walks away a little bit better.
They feel
and a little bit more positive.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they feel that.
Yes. Yes, and it's contagious.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and it all starts with a smile too.
I agree 100%. And we are just asking you to jump onto the positive wave. Join us. And one of the things that you can do is share your dream with us. We've got the Share Your Dream movement going on. So you fill out a postcard and you send it in to us. The address is right below here. You'll be able to see it. And share your dream. Let us allow the universe to be filled with positive things. This is mine. It's just a little one. This is my first one. This is me, Bob Proctor. I really like him. And this is my first interview with him. And the other thing about being positive is that it allows your dreams to be received by you. Many of us put dreams and wants and desires out into the universe, and then we say, why didn't I get it? Well, if you're walking around in a negative space, you've actually created that kind of energy around you, and your dreams can't cut through that wall. So we're just saying, join us and ride the positive wave. We want to fill this universe with positive, and the more people that jump on this wave, the further the ripple effect.
Be part of the community that knows that in every situation there's something good that can be taken. There's some beauty, there's some joy, there's some truth. And there are two sides, and choose to always see the good.
We invite you to share with us, where are you? How are you feeling? What practices have you put into place that work for you? What things are you finding difficulty with? Share those with us so that we can let you know maybe some steps that we've taken or just another avenue.
And remember,
There's always a positive side.